No, I'm excited to see it. And we get to see it start right here. Miramar coming your way. And hopefully we'll get to stick onto this map. Somewhat decent playing path, with the most people say. If you're far western, like El Poso, maybe even Montano Able, could be a bit of a gap going on over there. But as we can see now, 3D Max out early. Whether they're going up towards Chimicera or just dipping down early to get themselves some vehicles, we'll have to wait and see. But of course, could expect some clusters here in the first game, considering that these guys have yet to play this map with one another.
Yeah, that's it, right? It's fighting for those spots. Who's going to go where and saying, can we bully someone out of it potentially? We'll have to wait and see.
Could be possible. Maybe you'll pull a full Tony Sosa and go emote on people before you kill them.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you gotta show some. They gotta show you some respect, right? I mean, that's if you're gonna contest us, you better put up a fight and not just wuss out, or we will make a fool of you. Fake, we can see on our screen right there, jumping down. Two of the VG players is Blue and that EXO. Could potentially be an early kill coming in for either team, but it seems like Fake landing on a vehicle wants to go up to his teammates in Desperado.
So no real craziness going on here. It's worked out pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of those plane paths where some go west, some go east, and you can kind of just track where other teams go because there's such a big gap in where these cities are. So whenever you see a team jump out, you're like, okay, they're probably going there, they're probably going here. And then if you do your math right, it should be easy enough to get yourself somewhere free for yourself. New circle, or first circle, I guess you should say, goes down south. Bang, center in the middle, we have Los Leones. Of course, we don't know if it's going to go there in the end of things, but interesting rotations will be coming in for majority of these teams.
Yeah, this is actually... It doesn't include that much water. It's in a good spot overall. It's not the end of the world. The northern teams will struggle because there is still so many teams up in the north. But teams like Tarlans here, Se7en, VG, they've all got a good chance to have an interesting start here for them on Miramar if they can hold on, if they don't get picked apart early on, and they can deal with the engagements like Tarlans, for example, right? Now you've got a spot, now you've got a circle, let's see what you can do.
Yeah, the only thing here to me is like the northern teams, they will have to figure, do we want to go out east, but we don't have that much room to rotate on because there's the water, or do we want to go west, but as we saw before, we don't really want to drive through Picado.
Yeah.
Then you have the entire ridge line up there, so you actually have to go surprisingly far out west to make a big enough turnaround to get down to that circle in a rotation where you can feel safe. So we'll see with the rotations coming in just a couple of minutes, how exactly all these northern teams are planning on making their way on down.
Now you saw PG18 on your screens there. Some interesting plays came out of them yesterday. They looked like a team that I'm certainly going to keep an eye on a bit more than I would have expected after day one if they can keep it going here on Miramar. And they will have a chance now to show us what they've got as well, because when it comes to Miramar, it's still that unknown for a lot of these teams. We've seen most of them who are from the previous contenders side of things, but when it comes to this is a big change-up, a big deal for them.
Well, I mean, they had the, I guess if you want to take anything away in that regard, they had a good showing on Quarry. And if there's anything on Erangel that could look like anything on Miramar, that would potentially be Quarry. So they know how to work around terrain battles and like ups and downs and keeping you calm when there's a lot of people potentially around you that you can't necessarily get an angle on without having to do some smart plays. And they're all very experienced players, so makes sense that they're a good showing there. And then we'll see if they can become this group's kings of Miramar.
Now, what I'm going to look for here is who might end up fighting early on. Elgig already got their vehicles together, want to start to make their way in the circle. Deeg is going to be the one leading the charge there.
Yeah, one of the main things to look for here as well is the fact that now we talked about how Los Leones is in the center, and we also talk about how oftentimes you want to take that center control because then you have a bigger chance of being inside the next circle, yada yada. But since nobody wants to sit in Los Leones, that's going to force all those would-be center teams to push out maybe a kilometer more in divide, and that means that the guys that are coming in late that would have that much more room to work around, all of a sudden they're forced to stay even further out because the teams are sitting closer to the edge than they normally would. So it could become a factor in depending of course where that next circle is going to show.
And I know obviously Miramar is extremely different to Erangel, right? There's no say so about that, but what I'm looking for is just see how teams have changed up their play style in between the both days, right? Because we saw teams go out very early, always fighting, not doing maybe the smartest decisions when it came down to it. I want to see, for example, Se7en on your screens now. Are you going to stay so aggressive and maybe try hunker together as a team a little bit more? Because when they breached that compound against 3D Max on the, I think it was the third game 3 maybe, that was ridiculously well done. So they can play super good as a team. So I want to see that more often rather than just constant aggression and firing.
See Cass trying to rotate around for us now. Shax has put himself up in a good position to potentially catch out some rotations, but no kills coming in from him just yet. You saw Se7en on your screens just before as well, trying to hold off 3D Max and their rotation, but not a whole lot happening. They knew they were landing down there and around them, but they weren't able to get anything off it.
Desperado's already making their way down. And like you were saying, Toby, it's going to be finding that space of where they want to go from here. Now, Desperados were the team yesterday that were just blowing up cars no matter what happened. It was right in front of him, getting a couple of double kills in there as well. And Coldamenta, what that play he had where he held on in game one. Just so impressive on an individual level. Vinco, they had a game yesterday where actually they managed to make it to the top 4. It was looking strong for these guys. They've only racked up 8 points so far, but I think that'll give them at least a boost in confidence to say, we can achieve things here.
Vinco got things going in that last game. They had rotations going against them and circles swapping away from them all the time, but managed to get all the way into 3rd place. And to me, that's a clear showing of them maybe spending the first couple of games getting used to whatever the group is here and the synergy within, but finding their place within the group. They did that in the final game yesterday, and if they can have equally good rotations today, well, I mean, they could have a really good day on Miramar.
Art of War here. Got their little hillside to fight from. There's Hugstar. He's going to try and find some of the Moonwolf players, but take some shots. Now he's got to be careful. He's got to fall back to his teammates' cover because Moonwolf, they're not a team that's scared to get involved early in.
And we talked about it as well yesterday. Just because you can line up a shot, just because you're in a good position, doesn't necessarily mean that you should be shooting if you don't have to cover yourself. And you saw that from Hugstar. He started shooting, but once those barrels turned the other way, he was miles out in the open. And fortunately, he got to get away.
Now already we see a lot of teams go down south, hoping it's going to shift away that a little bit further.
Yeah.
And so this has opened up some of that room a little bit more. There's Resu will find the knock on to Hugstar here, so that battle is at least won by Moonwolf for now.
Hugstar crossed the road by himself. I don't know if it was a miscommunication with the team or what, but the other guys weren't really going in the direction. He was now. Deeks does get an angle. I don't think Hugstar is going to get rest. Nope, not going to happen. Down he goes. First player out in the game here. But yeah, not sure if it was a miscommunication and where they should go, because it seems like the majority of the players there knew that they wanted to go further west. Or east, I mean, sorry. But Hugstar pushed up on the compound, and unfortunately for him, got taken out.
Good attempt at the defense, so they wanted to stop him being finished off there. Did force Resu to run back just a little bit, but he found it regardless, so a good start for Moonwolf once again. And they certainly had some good games come out yesterday, right? A couple of top 3s in there. They had the 1 second place, and they definitely hit top 3 or top 4 on the game where Vinco ended up coming in 3rd.
Yeah, Moonwolf had some good performances yesterday, and we'll see them hopefully get things going here today as well. Quickmath, you see far out on your screen, looting far up north on a wrangle, but here they go a little more center about things. Now they're sitting down in the area of La Pendida. Should be able to move further forward too. Nailers hits himself a headshot, but again, most likely not able to get that finish off.
Yeah, this is where the damage factors come in for now. Tapping them down, making them spend meds, also forcing them to lose some armor and lose helmets potentially as well.
And make them second guess taking that peak again, because one thing is that you can say, oh, but they're all equally good players, sure, but if a guy has just landed a shot, I mean, when it's a distance to it, you got to line up the shot, the drop, and everything. If you just hit that headshot, he's going to be aiming in that exact same spot with the next shot he fires, and that's how that's going to hit your head once more. Now, new circle does pop. And, well, I guess some people guessed right, some didn't. It's going to go southeast of the city, and that's going to make rotations really, really hard for the guys on the western side. We already have teams in Moonwolf, Se7en, for us as well. They're pretty much forced to go through the city at this point. There's not going to be enough room for them to drive around it.
Savage looking to catch some of the Quickmath players rotating, but he can't land the shots, but at least make sure his presence is known and say, yeah, we're over here, guys. Don't roll this way. Now, the NATO. This isn't the hardest terrain to avoid at this point. You're not in the real difficult parts of Miramar. So
you say that, but he's making it dangerous.
He's like, I'll take the most difficult route I could possibly do.
Well, I mean, he's avoiding bullets, so I guess in that sense it's working out for him. Coldamenta, 2 guys in the vehicle. Vinco finally spotting out some opponents, getting some shots fired, but not a whole lot coming off of it. They're in a decent position right now, and probably not looking to go anywhere. And Mithralius nading his teammate. That's a new one.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Knocking your teammates over with vehicles, that's something I've seen before. I think there was supposed to be a smoke, and it wasn't.
Oh no. Less than ideal, and they're getting shot at as well. Shaxi finds himself getting knocked down. The last team you want to run into when you've done something like this is Se7en. They are ones that will fully take advantage of it.
Not optimal. Not optimal at all. You can see how much pressure they're under now. Mithralius does go down. Buster stuck to the spray. He's going to land even more shots. Now Edelweiss down to the last remaining player, Apocalypse, down behind this rock. Buster knows exactly where he is, and he will take him down. Actually, Edelweiss coming in there with the help. It's going to be the team out, and Se7en secures himself 4 kills off of that one mistake made right there.
Mithralius is certainly going to be sat there wishing that never happened. And he will learn from this mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it is just the thing that ends up happening, right? Pressure, you kind of sit there and lose your senses for a second. Anything can happen. You've just got to ignore it now and focus on the games ahead of you. You went out in 16th in this one. It's all about the bounce back.
Here we got the designated Uber driver of the team. Sarah drops off a teammate, goes back to pick up the rest of them.
Hope they're paying him well.
Tipping him well. Quickmath gonna get on their rotation as well. They're still sitting on the somewhat northern side of the city. And I'm not sure exactly where they're planning on going here, because even though the circle is only halfway in, it would be late to try and push to get a compound center in this circle. So if they're aggressing like fast center, as you saw before with other teams shooting, what was before just Vinco shooting at teams rotating would be 2 or 3 more teams now.
Now we see here Winside. Got a nice spot to play from. But is the circle going to benefit him when it comes to it? Art of War doing it once again, where they love to hold off the edge of the circle. But no one is coming in. They are the final team making it from that side of things. Elgiv just made their way in as well.
They're waiting for that northwestern hard shift. They can feel it. It's in there. They're like, oh my god, we're getting this one. We're getting this one. And then it goes out in the water, and they're like, oh, are you kidding me?
If it's anything like the circles we had yesterday, it's certainly a possibility. I don't think these teams would be very happy if that was the case. They'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, is it really going to be another day of this?
But then again, I mean, for the most part, everybody had one of those games, right, where circles just did not go in their favor. And then it's up to the team. I mean, it's on you to make the best of a bad situation. Now we'll see where that circle is going to head. Is it going to be Leonis? No, it's not. It's further east we go. Art of War will have some room to maneuver around. But we got 3 teams in Tornado Energy, 4AK, and Stella that will have to coordinate a bit of a rotation together should they not want to run around on top of one another.
Yeah, that's the thing where you just mentioned it. It's like, if they all start to rotate in at the same time, someone is going to have a bad time.
Yeah, and also that, because I mean, in the beginning, they'll just be driving together, but just head down 1 kilometer further, and teams will be starting to shoot at you while you're trying to take out one another, and that's just going to make things even harder.
Moonwolf, they started shooting early on, but they get a close range to Se7en. They seem to have a good idea that they're near each other here, and it's all about if this is going to be the fight worth taking before they go in, because they are inside the new circle, so it's not a battle they need to force out just yet.
Yeah, they have seen the guys down there, and they don't really want to contest it. It makes sense to me. There's no reason in trying to take this fight inside of Las Leonas, because you know, as soon as shots are fired in here, as soon as the guys that are sitting up on these hills hear it, not only do you have to finish off Se7en, which is arguably one of the better fighting teams, you also have to deal with the guys holding you inside the city when you're trying to leave. So smart decision making there, not taking the fight.
Now for AK. This team, very slow on their rotations on a wrangle. They like to fight in the blue as they're going to find themselves under pressure now. Back.
That's a lot of
bullets. Spraying them down. How did that car stay going?
That is a good quality vehicle right there. Oh, Northwest, you got to heal up before that circle kills you, buddy. Is he going to be able to get it off? Nope, he is not. Now the question is going to be whether Vac realizes who it was there and he goes for the finish off. I wouldn't think that he will, but that's, well, I mean, I guess the freest kill you can possibly get.
Easy game there for him to play it out in.
Unfortunate scenario. What couldn't be done with an AK would be done in the end with a take off blue.
Now he'll get going on the hunt for Rip, who's found himself knocked down. They're seeing if any of his other teammates are prone and around here, potentially hiding, trying to avoid Elgig trying to find him. We said about Elgig, haven't really had like a spectacular game come out yet. Savage may be doing a lot of damage, but there's been no real big movements out of them just yet. Northwest dies out to the play zone. He wasn't able to be picked up and looked after.
Yeah, I mean, Elgiganten is a team that I've seen do extremely well, but in kind of spurs. Their average game hasn't been that well, but it's been held up by a few games where they've done extremely well. Now, unfortunately, they lost Hogstar earlier, but we'll see if they can pull something off anyway.
Now, Tornado, they're coming alive. At this time, they're going to meet into Stella. Kaz finds himself not just knocked, but eliminated as well, and this is where some of these kills really will start to kick off.
Now, Edgecar's knocked his teammate with a nade.
What is going on today?
Is that just the thing now? Then instead of running each other over, we start exploding one another? I don't know. PG, gonna be happy with that circle. Desperado, they're sitting well on the north side there too. And the thing is, I mean, we can argue, why is there no one in between them? Well, there's not a whole lot to play from in there. So look at the teams that are on the edges, on the sides, and around this circle. They will have to fight for either the compounds here or use a hell of a lot of smokes trying to stay alive wherever they decide to go.
Yeah, that's what it is going to be for some of these teams. Smoke and cover. A big open area to fight from. And no one wants to sit on that road either.
You see Rezo is under so much pressure. They're all around him. And Tarlans secure themselves a double knock there. Edgeganten does manage to do some damage in return. But there's still 2 more players. We got 3 more players to kill.
Trying to take some shots. He knows at least where one of the players is. Nades are going out. It's definitely not going to reach him, but it might reach some of his teammates. And that it does. Pancho, he finds himself on the floor.
Maka got taken down as well just before. It was one of the Stella players, I believe, that got the better of him. No, actually, Phantom was the one to take him down. So 3D Max, too many red logos in here. And
there is actually, isn't there?
Yeah, they're all over the place.
I didn't just notice that.
And yellow. Red and yellow logos. That's all it is.
Red and yellow, red and yellow, red and yellow.
You can see it right here. So many of the same colors. Does get confusing every now and again. But then again, of course, that's no excuse to mess up the names. We can just get better for it.
What is going on today?
A lot of killing and a little amount of opportunities as far as to where you can go. That's the thing. I mean, we're already down to 47 players in phase 4. And you say, oh, well, that's pretty normal. Sure, but none of these guys have started rotating yet.
Yeah.
They don't have anywhere to go. I mean, the guys that are sitting in the compound right now, they're also outside. You can see where they can go from here. I mean, even if they make that 100-meter push into the circle, outside won't shift all the way back to them. And there's just not a whole lot to play from anywhere else. You can see it right here, too.
Now, I like this from Vinco. They know how close they are to the circle, but they're going to see if they can stop some of these teams coming in. And I'd just rather this than them just hunkering down and not poking out and staying in a bunker as such and saying, we'll just wait. We'll hopefully just wait it out.
Vinco can play this game like they played the one yesterday. They were so smart in taking that eastern side control, and they never left the edge before they knew for a fact that their entire backside was clear. So do the same thing here. You know you're on the edge. You won't be able to take a center position now anyway. So stick around here and do not let Quickmath sort of isolate you. Seems like they're able to do so right now, though.
Winside now losing a second player. Potentially a third as well, as the boom has been found by Savage. And this is where Savage damage is coming up.
Starting to deliver. Was delivering yesterday as well, and now he's getting a good start to the game right here as well.
Pelzic, he wants to find an opener. He wants someone else to try and poke into him. Zedukoz is able to knock to a UO, which means that Quickmath now have to not just focus on Vinco, but look around them, because being out in this open area is never going to work out for you well. Zedukoz is able to do a little bit more here. Finds himself the kill, and he'll be hungry for more of these players if he can get involved. As Moonwolf are still pushing through, but that blue damage is going to be quite substantial now.
And he's coming up behind the guys in Quickmath. Could potentially be a threat. Once this circle connects, it's going to be extremely hard for anyone to stay outside. You can see in Silencio, he's looking in the direction. Edgeganten trying to hold in, trying to push his way on forward. Soda a little behind his teammates, and that's going to be Moonwolf out in 15th place. All of VG still alive and kicking, but they have quite a ways to go down south now. Desperado's had the compound in the circle. That's going to be out too. And Ben Cute starting to do some damage. Gets one, but Tony goes down in return.
1-for-1 trade, but no finishes off just yet. Nixties, he's looking for an open. He finds him with a nade in his hand. Brilliant work from him. BenQ goes down. And the nade is going to benefit him massively. He's going to go straight in for the double flush. 2 quick kills, and he's looking for more Art of War. They find themselves under pressure massively there. High ground advantage, he's 4AK take it, but they're not done yet. They've got other teams now in PG coming at them.
Havoki and Nixties lives to see another day, but that day could be ending real momentarily as PG start applying the pressure downhill towards them. Havoki wants to get up and get the heals on her, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to take up Nixties here, or Nixties, because, well, first of all, just jump down, and second of all, the blue is coming in, and we see circle 5. That means no resin in the blue. He will go down.
Yeah, too much damage from that circle as Myers finds himself in a nice spot, waiting out for it. 4 angry kids have gone down. And Quickmath Myers, he wants to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, see Vinco going down there as well. Didn't really have the info they needed as to where their opponents were. And they take a toll on it. 12 plays for them. Not a whole lot more they could do with teams pushing them from both sides. Wacko now 3D Max. They got a somewhat decent spot, but as you can see here as well, they need to constantly keep people at bay. They cannot let anyone get in within nade distance because there's not a whole lot of cover for these guys.
Got to say just there, Waggo definitely should have been hitting those shots. 7 have gone out again, and I didn't see that many kills come out from them, but they were active in a lot of fights. It's tempo and tornado energy again. They're going to come in with the full tempo attack onto them.
Yeah, they're sending at full speed forward. You can see trying to throw some smokes up the hill. I'm not sure exactly what they're smoking off because both their teammates up there are dead. But smokes thrown nonetheless. Middleman and examples trying to stay put down by the side of the road here. But we'll see if they get to stick around for much longer. Oh, actually, Combat is up there. Didn't even know he was still alive. He won't be for much longer anyway.
He gets found. He's trying to make that run on down. It's not going to work out. And 3D Max pick them apart. Tarlans go out in 10th. So not a terrible position for him, but still early doors, and it means they don't get any placement points within this.
A couple of kills going their way, but that's about it. They had a pretty decent fight with Moonwolf, but teams third-partied in. Made it hard for them, and that, of course, is just the name of the game when you're playing on the map of Miramar. It just really becomes a third-party fiesta when we get these open endings.
Now Tozera's got himself up high. Desperado's going to get Faith back up.
Every single hilltop you have to worry about. Desperado's decent circle for them, and all they have to worry about right now, I guess, to say is to hold off 3D Max. You can see they're shooting down towards Elgiganten, but they're occupied elsewhere. It's again the thing we talked about yesterday. You gotta figure out what is your main threat. Tempo Storm, which is not at all their name, Tornado Energy. Now I pulled that off for you. You guys said Tempo as well, that pulled me off.
So the reason that is, right, when I was commentating another game, TE was Tempo Storm's tag. And so it keeps messing with my head, because Tornado's tag was not that last time around.
Now you messed with my head. No, okay, Tornado, they are taken down and out in 9th place. Ooh, that's going to be Swarm out too.
PG though. Nail up. It's just his name over and over again.
He is applying the pressure needed and getting himself kills with it. He's been doing a lot of damage, and he's showing right there why he indeed deserves that 4th spot in the team.
Mole Man, the only man left alive for Stella. He's proning his way forward and hoping he can find some success. As Waggo landing some key shots now. After missing some earlier, he's going to find kills. Good reply though. Refrag comes in.
Yeah, could have shot in return, but jumped instead. That's one of those mistakes that I know I do all the time. When I get jump scared, literally. Phantom shots over the hilltop, gets a headshot landed, but not able to get the knock on towards Calvin. Wants to spot out more, but now is when the nades come in and he has to fall back immediately. Nice repositioning from him right there. He knew that the nades were in the hands. He knew that the pressure was applied. And all Calvin wants is a kill here. Can he get it though?
Oh my. He's like, no, please. I'm just going to go.
How are they not finishing him yet?
He is dodging.
There you go.
Woo, woo.
It's like, guys, hello. Moleman goes down as well as the 2 of the solos eliminated. And we're down to 5 teams. Guys, we have 5 teams alive at 23 minutes. This is new. This is different. Phase 6, 5 teams alive, but we talked about it. Very open ending, really hard to play around. And yeah, not at all easy for these guys to make a run on in.
PG-18 still up with 4 players, the only team with 4 players left alive. And this is their time to shine. We were speaking about and we were saying how good they had a few chances to have good games in there. Nail Up as an individual certainly impressed us, but what can they do now when they've got an advantage in this?
It's all going to come down to where this next circle shifts, and I think that's what the majority of them are waiting for. You can see Desperados, they are making that aggressive push around the side here. 3D Max, they have 2 players up and alive, Phantom and Nogi, trying to hold off whatever push might be coming their way. Desperados revealing their position. Nate's coming in now as well to apply some more pressure. Maybe they can force them to go down towards PG, but for now they'll be able to stay put. Desperados got to watch out as well. They don't want to overcommit to it.
Yeah, that's it, right? You can focus fire onto these, and then PG could pop up at any point and potentially take you down. There's 3D Max heavily under pressure. Shots coming out towards them. Good teamwork there from Desperados. That's what I like to see.
Really impressive play, understanding the threat on the other side too. Now forced down. Nemarath popping a headshot over towards Fake, that is. And, the other guys will just take over where he left off.
That was it for 3D Max, right? You had a good chance in this.
They still have one player alive.
Oh, Noki's still there.
He's chilling. He's not going to be chilling for much longer. And Desperado repositioning once more. They're not inside the circle yet either. They wanted to push down around the side here, but they figured it took too long. They knew there was another team on the other side too. Couldn't really play around that. But what is the alternative? That's what I'm looking for. Where can they go if not around that side? Now they're smoking down the middle, you can see, and they're just gonna send it.
They've got the numbers. They've got the advantage in it. It's only Desperados have got a good challenge against them with 3 players up.
PG has been on the quiet side so far. Only 3 kills in the game up until this point. Ooh, Nails with the AWM. Beast of a weapon. Gets it to good use right there.
Desperados just trying to work their way down smokes. They do provide cover, but you can still just take pot shots and hope to make them connect here. Elgiganten, though, in the top 5. We said what they needed to do, and guess who's doing it? The man with all the damage is also getting the kills this time in Savage, and dies. This is really nice. Finds himself one, looks to go in for the second. Savage under pressure, shots coming in, and they are going to try and... Oh, it's like a semi-flush into shooting him as well. I like the style. I like the shots. Can he get the last player, though? Savage just hiding out, and PG now, they're looking to take a full dominance here in just shooting at everyone.
All Savage wants to do is buy himself some time, but there's no more time to be brought down. He goes. Tried his best to stay put, but not gonna happen. Noki gets down Sarah. This could potentially become a 4v1v1. So Sarah gets fully flushed there. Noki out of the game as well. Seems like Calvin is sticking to the rest. It's a desperate one. It's a dangerous one. But they might just be able to pull it off here. 3 teams alive, and somehow Denettor is still in it as well.
Oh no, just jumps in, but Naylor finds him. More damage coming in, more shots coming in. Wow. And this is looking really good. Shots.
Wow.
And instantly, PG-18 take that first win. And they were just out in the open fire. They didn't